Boom. What is up, guys? Welcome back to another video and welcome to another episode of the Blind Buy Chronicles. Been a while since we've came out with one of these on the channel, but I do have a blind buy, very similar in the case of Soul Cafe, where I have the decant for you here. The full bottle is with Canyon, so we will press onward because we got to get a review out. I'm excited. Got a couple blind buys coming in here recently, so expect this series to really ramp up and be more frequent, especially as we get into early spring. But I want to talk about a fragrance today, City Rhythm Tempo. And if you know fragrances, you know just how popular, how beloved, and honestly, how glazed this fragrance has been. Is it for all the right reasons? We're going to find out in this video today. But City Rhythm Tempo, a relatively newer fragrance, came out a couple years ago in that different packaging. Kind of looks like a YSL Myself kind of bottle. This came first though, but that rectangular packaging, you'll see it on the thumbnail of the video anywho. But got the sample, really popular, really hyped. Heard a lot of crazy stories. We're going to dive into that and much more with this week's video. Jumping in with the presentation. As I've said, unfortunately, this is probably one of the harder things to do because we just have the decant in here and you see that the liquid has like a nice faint bluish green hue to it. It looks nice. As you see from the thumbnail, the bottle is nice. All the City Rhythms packaging, it's always been A+. Never had an issue, never had a problem with it there. The normal packaging where the mountains is coming out of the bottom of the bottle, those are sick. But also I like these that kind of distinguish themselves from the rest of the line. Like I said, kind of carrying that classy, modern, elegant, rectangle body, rectangle kind of cap, tempo plastered right on the front. I personally don't have much of a problem with the presentation at all. And in this case, only having this decant, it's probably the least important thing in my opinion. But nevertheless, I'm happy with the presentation. Jumping in with the price. I'll have the exact price listed down below. Unfortunately, our internet has been out for much of this week. And so once we get into a better place, I'll be able to actually give you the exact prices. I know for this sample, I paid anywhere between, I think, 30 to 40 for it. And I know the 50 to the 100 mil, I know that range is about 150 to 180, 190. Definitely the second half of the 100s, getting up into the 200 range. Overall, not bad pricing. All the City Rhythm stuff, given the quality of ingredients, and really since this is, I guess you technically could still consider this niche. I know they've branched out now into like car diffusers and I think candles even. You can get other products on their website, but I mean, for the level of quality that Niles and his team bring to the table, I can't complain about the pricing too much. I've paid much more for fragrances even recently that have a lot more hype than Tempo, and they're even more well-known, but that are just not worth it at all. Not good whatsoever. So that's kind of where we stand with Tempo. I'm happy with the pricing, happy with the presentation. Now, granted, obviously the smell here in a minute is going to kind of determine everything. A fragrance that's really cheap, but you don't like, but a fragrance that's expensive and you do like, you can kind of justify that a little bit more. And so, you know what? Let's just jump right in and let's see how this thing smells. What I'm going to do is I'm going to spray this on a tester strip because I have wore it on skin once. I don't know if that's cheating. Maybe it's cheating, but regardless, good atomizer as usual. And I'm going to lay this down and I'm going to lay it next to a fragrance that a lot of people have drawn comparisons to. Very popular decant of mine. And I'm going to spray it the other direction because I'm already starting to get whiffs from over here. This stuff certainly doesn't hold back. Amouage Reflection, man. So we got both these sprayed out. And so let's go over the notes of this fragrance. I need you to buckle up because there's a lot. In the top, strawberry, bergamot, lime, pear, sugar. In the middle, incense, pepper, lily of the valley, jasmine, tonka, rose. In the base, sandalwood, vanilla, musk, ambergris, oak moss, vetiver, and amber. All right. Now, giving it a quick smell here. Let's see what we can get. Okay. Very interesting off the top. because I'm immediately getting the strawberry, the bergamot, the lime, the pear. It's all kind of working together to me. None of those are really sticking out, kind of like a fruit basket, more so than each of these being individually placed. And you get the sugar. It's sweet, it's fresh, little bit of a pop of citrus in the opening, but it's nice. It works well, it's smooth, it's inoffensive. I don't know how to describe this to you, but if you smell this fragrance and you are in two fragrances and you know City Rhythm stuff, you would be able to tell me that this is a City Rhythm. There's just something about the opening of this fragrance. Even though obviously all their fragrances don't have the same top notes, there's just some distinctive note in there that immediately takes me back to stuff like San Diego, Miami, Martha's Vineyard, St. John's. I don't know, even their Riviera to an extent, their wintertime collab with Fragrance Knowledge. I don't know, but it has a really nice opening, a lot of citruses, a little sugary sweet. And from what I can tell you, as I'm picking up here, getting into the mid and getting to the base, you're getting a little bit of florals, a little bit of tonka, a little bit of incense and pepper. It's not very strong. This doesn't go super spicy, doesn't go super loud, but it's definitely not either a tonka bomb like the new Cal Cologne edition fragrances. Definitely not heavy there. This keeps a soft, mature, elegant, year-round smell to it as we get in the mid. But then the base, the vanilla, the sandalwood, the musk, a little bit of that amber really starts to stand out. As best as I could describe it, this is a fresh, sweet, sugary, musky, vanilla-forward fragrance. And as we're going to talk about later in the video, it's something you could wear year-round. I'm going to compare this, though, to Amouage Reflection Man, just because I have heard comparisons. I'm going to smell both of these side by side. I don't know. Getting a little bit of comparison, a little bit of similarities. I don't know if it's some of the citrus in the top, the musk, perhaps even maybe the oak moss, the ambergris in the base. I don't have all the notes of Reflection Man memorized anyhow. You kind of get a similar profile. You could say that maybe these are cousins to each other, that they share some of the same things in common, but perhaps go about it in two completely different ways, because that's what I'm getting here. This is just City Rhythm's take on an everyday, year-round fragrance that you could just dumb reach and spray 8 to 10 times and go out and be fine. That's kind of what I'm getting in the opening. Really likable opening. People aren't going to turn a blind eye to this. They're not going to crinkle their nose when you're wearing this out in public. It's got a really appealing opening. This whole fragrance, that's what this is meant to do. Gonna get you compliments. Everyone's going to recognize that you're one of the better smelling individuals in the room. And it's a really good smell. We're going to keep giving this a whiff, but we're going to continue on with this, looking at this fragrance. Let's go to performance and longevity. As I mentioned, I did wear this once just to test this out. I didn't want to totally throw y'all for a loop and just say, well, I don't know about the performance and longevity. Y'all just have to buy it for yourselves. Didn't want to do that. So did wear it. I actually get pretty decent performance and longevity. For what this is doing, you kind of know this time of year, the spring, about to be summer in a few months. These fresh fragrances, they struggle to last, to get you through the day. But all of City Rhythm stuff, I've never really had an issue with projection, performance, longevity. And that's certainly not the case here. I get a smooth 8 to 9 hours on this, maybe a skin sip for 11. It's going to get me through my workday. Anything that I could ask it to do, it'll accomplish it. So I can't complain on that front. It projects decently solid. I know some of their fragrances are more loud projectors. Miami, San Diego, Riviera, St. John's, those can push out quite a bit. And then others like Martha's Vineyard that we tested last year, great smelling fragrance, but didn't necessarily push off your skin a couple feet, kind of soft, kind of closer to you. This is kind of in the middle of those. This ain't gonna be a room filler. I'm not gonna walk in here and everybody's gonna pick me up. But it is able to be smelled and caught by people multiple hours into the lifespan of the fragrance, well into the base notes, drying down. And I can't complain. Never had a problem, as I've said. There's some things with City Rhythm that I'm convinced I could buy every fragrance they've ever bought. And their presentation, their performance, their longevity, it's going to hit. So I can't complain. It checks all the boxes for me. And this is something that you could wear. You don't have to worry about spraying 15 to 20 sprays of. I'm not trying to dog the fragrance, but I will use this one just because it's new as an example. Prada Carbon EDP, fantastic smelling fragrance, by the way. The performance and the longevity is terrible. Horrible, 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 horrible. You have to pepper it on, and for it to be an EDP concentration, the EDT blows past the EDP in terms of this area. And with that fragrance, love Prada to death, one of my favorite fragrance houses, but just doesn't last. You have to spray 10 to 15 sprays for people to even begin to notice you. So this ain't gonna be that case. I think it's got enough notes, not enough character, sharpness to it. Yeah, this is gonna work. That sugar, the sweetness from the fruits kind of lay low through the mid and through the base. It doesn't just dissipate after a few minutes. It does its job. And I can't complain with the performance on longevity. That takes us to one more category. Let's hit seasonality and give the final thoughts. As I've implied several times throughout this video, this is absolutely a year-round fragrance. Am I going to reach for it more in the middle of the summer or in the middle of the winter? Probably in the middle of summer, just because I feel like that's what this works the best for. This time of year, early spring, summer, warmer weathered months is where it could work. But honestly, guys, this could absolutely be a signature scent. This could just be something that you wear, that people know you buy. This is one of the better signature scent options that I've even reviewed and smelled in quite a while. And so I give them props. I give them credit for that. And that's exactly what all the reviews had said. City Rhythm is starting to become a more popular fragrance house, especially over the last couple of years. But at least from my observations, Tempo has to be the most hyped up fragrance they have. I'm talking, I know people that have bought multiple backup bottles of this because this is their fragrance for life. And people share crazy, crazy stories online. You'll have to go run rabbits if you care to yourself. Crazy stories about basically this fragrance doing everything that you could ask for a fragrance to do times 10, doing even more than that. This is almost like a David and a Goliath fragrance put into one, just in terms of what you can do when you wear this, supposedly. But really good, really nice. As I've said, warmer weather, but I could wear this in the office. I could wear this to preach. Even tonight, it would work very well. Just anytime. I could wear it in December. I could wear it in September, anytime that I felt like it, any occasion. Spray 5 to 7 sprays on it, depending on how you're feeling. And people are going to love it. Once again, this fragrance was not hyped up just for no reason. And all the popularity, all the attention, all the positive feedback, it's not gone to vain. So if you like City Rhythm stuff, especially their fresh fragrances, I'd recommend you checking this out. I really don't have anything negative to say about this. Is this probably one of my favorite fragrances of all time? I wouldn't say so. But I'd be lying to you if I said I didn't like this. And if this was not a very good practical option. I think it's been out for about 4 years at this point. So maybe, even though it's still being hyped up, maybe that hype is on the back burner to where then if you pick this up, it's kind of the opportune time to own it and people would recognize you for that. So that's kind of my thoughts. I give an A for this fragrance. Really good. Can't complain. I'd give it probably an 8.8 to a 9 on the scale. Just works. Maybe 9.2. I don't know, depending on how I'm feeling, depending on the day. This stuff just works, guys. Check it out. City Rhythm. Not sponsored, but have had conversations with Niles and some of his team in the past. Great people. So, cannot complain there. Check them out. Let me know what your thoughts on Tempo are if you've smelled it yourself. But if you haven't, you're wanting to check it out, let me know as well. I'll be responding to the comments down below. But that's all from me. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And got another devotional coming out Sunday. Don't want to miss it at 5 o'clock. Be there for that. But until then, stay safe and God bless.